Good evening. Welcome to our August 23rd, 2012 council meeting. I show it's about 20 minutes to 8. Sorry we're a little bit late tonight, but we have so much in the way of legislation, it kind of held us up in our work session. May I have a roll call, please, Ms. Sarcisi?
Mr. Barker?
Here.
Ms. Darrell? Here. Mr. Engel?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Molnar?
Here.
Very good. I would ask Nick Molnar this evening to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I invite Mike Miller to say our invocation. If you would do that, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we begin to face the many challenges left this year, please help us to look for creative new solutions. The Bible says, "Blessed is he who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that you have promised to those who hear and follow your word." Our municipal Bible is the city charter. Help us abide by it and improve it where it's needed. And please, Lord, continue to bless this mayor and council as we faithfully work for our valued employees and residents of Macedonia. Amen.
Amen.
That was a nice one. Oh, he's going to switch over.
I didn't notice that. Sorry. Someone would have figured it out.
All right, next, we have some minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes? If not, do I have a motion to accept?
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'd like
Opposed?
to abstain from the July 26th meeting, minutes of the meeting.
And I'd like to abstain from the July 26th.
So
approval of
noted.
the minutes.
So noted. We have a financial report for acceptance. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the finance report as presented by the finance director.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the financial report is accepted. This next part of our meeting is something that I always look forward to because we have some mighty fine people living in our city. And this is our chance to thank them for being residents and for what they do. So I have a couple of proclamations tonight, and I'd like to ask Amy to meet me right there. Can you do that? Amy Walters, are you here?
Amanda.
Amanda.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amanda. It said Amy. I'm sorry.
says
Amanda.
Amanda. Oh, it does say Amy there,
Yeah,
and
it
my
does.
apologies.
I'm sorry. Let me look at the proclamation.
No, the proclamation's correct.
is right. Okay.
Yeah, no, the
All right.
proclamation's correct. The clerk's wrong, sorry. about
Amanda, right? Yeah. Okay.
that. No wonder you had that, like,
Amy was
who are they
last week.
talking about?
It's only a couple of letters here, right? Hide, maybe hide. Come on over here, Stan. Let's see, look that way. Whereas we acknowledge that active participation in organized athletics is influential to building good character and teaches a wholesome sense of fair play and good sportsmanship among our youth. Whereas in order to excel in any one sport, a young person must demonstrate an outstanding spirit of dedication, enthusiasm, and hard work. And whereas a vivid example of this has been brought to our attention by the achievement of Amanda Walton, who participated in the Ohio State Fair horseback riding event in the English saddle seat division with her horse, Armani, and was awarded the Ohio State Grand Champion in Showmanship and Equitation and Reserve Champion in Pleasure. Now therefore, I, Donald Cook, the Mayor of the City of Macedonia, Ohio, do hereby proclaim August 23rd, to be Amanda Walters' Day in our city, and extend to her my personal congratulations and also those of all of our residents and council who appreciate the athletic prowess and wish her every success in the future. Congratulations.
This is my dad, Jason Walters, my brother, Cody Walters, and this is my mom, Michelle Walters.
Dad, Mom, you did a good job. Good job. Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
It's okay.
Okay. We have one more. Nick, are you here today? McPagan? There you are. Hi, young man. Pagan. All right, I'm having a tough time with names today, but with a name like Cook, it never gets pronounced right. All right. Whereas, congratulations are in order for Nick Pagan, a graduate of Nordonia High School and also an Eagle Scout from Troop 882 for the act of life-saving heroism performed on Alex, an 8-year-old who was saved from possible drowning in an incident on May 20th. And whereas a catastrophe was avoided because of the skilled and rapid response of Nick and others in their efforts to save Alex, and whereas this courageous action in averting what could have been a tragic loss to the family, friends, and community was an act of heroism, which deserves special recognition by the governing body of the city. And now therefore, I, Donald Cook, the mayor of the city of Macedonia, do hereby tender this pride award with the deepest gratitude and sincere appreciation of Macedonia, its governing body, and all of the citizenry to Nick Pagan and his selfless, heroic action. Thank you. And who are the other people?
My grandma in front of her. My sister Allie in the front. My
Nice.
sister on the straight.
Okay.
I got the whole street. My Aunt Barbara. My Kevin. My Wonderfuls. Kathy. Eddie. Tina.
And we're all so proud of you. I can hear buttons popping right now. Okay, good job. That's it.
Very nice.
Great, great, great things. And people sometimes say, you know, the young people of today, nada, yada, yada. And I'm going to tell you, we have some mighty fine young people today. That's a lot of work to devote yourself to do something, to win awards at the Ohio State Fair. And just to be a scout and go all the way to being an Eagle Scout is an accomplishment. So we have some mighty fine people living here in Macedonia. The next section of the meeting is comments by the public. These are public comments, and all you have to do is come up here. We have a microphone. Please state your name and address. Are there any public comments this evening? Hi, Jesse. Come on down. I'd like to introduce everyone to Jesse Nihas, the mayor of Northfield.
Hi Don, how are you doing today, council?
Hi.
I'm just coming today just to view your council meeting, see how things are done in Macedonia. Pretty much the same as Northfield Village. All sitting up there just like we do every week. So the reason why I'm here is I know some of the citizens here in Macedonia might be wondering what's going on in your neighboring community, Northfield Village. Well, I could tell you this, we're on the verge of transforming. The track has showed us some fantastic plans of the future of Northfield Park. And I can tell you this, for a $285 or $275 million project, it's going to blow people away. It blew me away. I'm like, this is going to be a Northfield Village. All I can say is, wow. You know, not only is it going to benefit us, but I think it's going to benefit the whole Nordonia Hills community as a whole. Of course, we're all going to benefit in what's going to happen, bringing in, you know, more people to the area, more businesses. You know, I mean, it's just going to be wonderful. I can't get into too much of what the track's going to do, but I just want you to know that, you know, your neighbors next door, we're doing fine. Anything you guys need from us, we're willing to pitch in.
And I thank you for all the years we've worked together. We have dispatch and we share it between our two communities, mutual aid, all the things that you've done for us over the years, and it's great to see you, Jesse. Go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, first of all, thanks for coming. It's nice to see other leaders
Thank you.
come. It does happen on occasion here. I know you can't give me an exact date or anything like that, but have they given you a timeline of when this may start and when it may be done?
End of September, and 13 months from that date,
That's pretty
will
quick.
be open. Yes.
So you're talking like next month starting
Yes,
and done October the following year, 13.
correct.
Wow, that is impressive. See what private industry can do. They really
Yes.
get moving.
Yes,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
so,
All right, and I'm very, very happy for the residents of your community. I hope this turns out to be, as we hope it will be, an asset to us all, not only as residents and individuals, but as a school system. So I think it's all going to work out for the best. Thanks for coming over. Appreciate it.
Before you go, Jesse, has there been any plans for meetings with your neighboring communities to discuss the negative and positive impacts of what's going to happen with all these people coming in?
as of right now, no, but there will be in the future, yes.
In other words, the sewage is going to go somewhere, the traffic has got to go somewhere, people have to eat at restaurants and stay at
Right.
hotels, and Northfield Village doesn't have all that. What's your plan?
We have a very extensive plan. We've been having meeting after meeting after meeting, and I can't get into it too much right now because of what's happening at the track, but I can guarantee you this, that I will work with any neighboring community. I will come to you with a plan.
Well, I understand that part of the Northfield Park in the back actually is in Macedonia. Could we confirm or deny that?
I don't know
city
for sure.
engineer? Okay, because it may make a difference.
Could be.
It's got to be a lot of traffic. What are we going to do? That's why we need to talk.
And I look forward to doing that,
Let's schedule a time. Let your people and our people get together.
most
'Cause
definitely.
we don't want to wait till the last minute and be surprised.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, see you. Take care. Are there any other comments by the public at this time? Yes, sir.
John Casmer, Chinook Trail. I'm representing Longwood Manor Historical Society. Mayor Kuchka, I have got some good news too. I invited some people here tonight. I don't know if they showed up, any of them were able to come in, but we've had some outstanding residents donating money to the Longwood Manor, to our restoration project this year. And we got $100 donations from these people, from, I want to give them their names, I don't know if any of them are here, Joseph Edmondson and Denise Edmondson, Kathleen Katona and Kenneth Katona, and one name here that everyone will recognize is a former councilman, Karen and Paul Fike of Sagamore Hills now is, I guess, where they're living. So we want to really thank them for their help. Those are individual residents that are donating that amount of money to the restoration. We also got the like donation from St. Timothy's Church, $100. On the corporate side, we've gotten a commitment from Sherwin-Williams for paint and painting supplies for the manor. That'll be down the road, because right now we're concentrating on fixing the building violations. We also got from Windmills Golf Course, we got a coupon that's got a value of $150 that we can raffle off. So those are great things that are happening. We've got two plans that have been approved by the building department so far. One is to repair the roof, and one is to replace the main beam in the house that needs to be replaced that's deteriorated. One of those requires well, the roof doesn't require a building permit. The beam required a building permit, and I went to the building department, and I was gonna pay it, but I wanted to bring this up because I'm asking that the fee be waived on this. It seems excessive to me. I mean, I'm not going to quibble about it. If it has to be paid, it'll be paid. But we are a nonprofit organization, and
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but is the building department charging you a permit for doing work on their own property?
yeah,
on the city
manor.
property?
This is all on the manor, Mike, yeah.
I'm confused. How can we do that? Is that legal?
You're asking me?
I'm in the
Oh,
law
you're asking-
department.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
What is the fee?
It's $424.88.
Do we need to make a motion to waive the fee?
So
If
made.
you don't want any information on whether or not the fee is mandatory or not, or whether council has the authority to waive it, I mean, those are issues we've faced in the past where fees have been charged on public property projects. I mean, we make permits be taken out by.
Are we subcontracting the inspection?
Including the post office, U.S. government.
Are the Girl Scouts nonprofit?
Yes, they are.
Well, have we waived fees for them?
No?
Have we had any fees for them? Yeah,
Well,
that's
they
what I
took
mean.
over-
We
they
can't
took
say
over
no
that
if we don't
building.
know.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
He knows, he says he had.
Well, I think it's outrageous for us to charge a nonprofit organization working on our own property.
John, I want to clarify one thing here. I'd understood from talking to Mr. Ladd that there was a contractor who was supposed to come in and had agreed to do everything gratis.
We are working with the general contractor. We have a very good relationship with
Well,
Andrew
Mike,
Construction.
what was the setup with the Longwood Manor? Explain that to me. I mean, you were very enthusiastic when you explained it to me.
Yeah, there's a contractor that came and said that he was willing to donate his efforts and his materials and things of that nature, and was looking for a project, and I steered him into the direction of the manor house. And
What was he supposed to do the way you explained it to me, he was supposed to do the whole thing, and he was going to do it all for free.
that's
What
how
was
he
the name
That's
of
how
it?
he presented it to me.
Yeah.
Ambry
Well-
Construction.
Pardon?
Ambry Construction.
Is he still involved?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Is
Okay.
charging?
Let me,
So he is going to continue then to do everything for free?
I don't know their specific contract between them and what they worked out, but initially that's how it started out.
Can I follow up with that? I think I talked with him after I got the referral. I talked with Tony Boudreau. We've got a good working relationship.
Talk in the microphone.
He's,
People at home can hear you.
he's
there a
already.
contract signed?
He's all.
Was there a contract?
No, this is.
Because
this is
I would
not-
just, if there was a contract signed, I would just like to see it presented to council so we can see exactly what's going to be
Well,
done.
he's gotten 2 construction plans approved by the building department. He didn't charge us for that. We are both looking for sources for the money. Let me explain this, okay? he's gonna do the work. We're gonna get the roof done and this beam. We've got the plans for him. We're looking for the money right now for the roofing materials, and we think we've got a good source for that. Tony Boudreau is also looking for money. He's got a copy of the plan that I gave you guys tonight. So we've got people looking for money now to do it. Ambient Construction will do the work. They will scrape off the slate off the roof. They'll get some salvage value from that, so they'll recover some costs because slate can be resold. And they're going to replace it with asphalt shingles, slate-like shingles. Okay, so at this point, and I can't give the name, but we do have a source that I'm hoping is going to donate the roofing materials, the roof and the gutters. It's 4,200 square feet of roofing materials that we need, and we have a source, like I said, that could do 10 Longwood Manors without batting an eye the roof. So I can't divulge who that is right now.
But in the interest of time, let's talk about that permit. Are you asking us to do what we can to avoid that fee?
Yeah, I'm asking you to waive it. I'd like to conserve our money for the repairs and not be, having to be paying fees. That's what I'm asking for.
How much money do you have on hand right now in your bank account?
We have $3,000 in our own account.
If I may.
Sure.
You may have to, and I'd have to take a look at it with law department, but I know that there was an ordinance passed, council passed it with the manor house, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it believed that the manor house committee was responsible for permits when that was passed, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess on the surface, I don't have a problem with that, but I guess my big concern is I'm looking at your estimates here, which I didn't get the math to work out, but you're saying it's going to be $317,000 for the overall construction of the project, and you got $3,000 on hand, and we want to do everything you can, but I'm afraid that if we do this, we've got some other people in the city that have got nonprofit things that we don't waive their things, and if I work on my home, I'm going to have a permit as well, and if we waive this, how many more permits down the road are going to come into play when you do all this other additional stuff? And it's
Out of the electrical.
and I just, if we waive this and the project doesn't get done, and really, it's really a minor amount as far as the city goes, not as far as you guys go. I just don't want to start here and then, because since I've been on council 7 years, I've seen starts and stops, and I'm not trying to discourage you. I mean, if you come to us and said, hey, I've got $317,000, I'm $424 for a budget, I think that would be a no-brainer. But it seems like you're very far away from where we need to be, if that makes sense.
We estimated about 70-some thousand for the repairs. We've got to get the repairs done first. That's what's in the ordinance. The 317 is long-term if we carry this out. Like I said, I'm not quibbling. I'll pay the fee. All right? We have the money in our account. I'll pay the fee.
I think what may be a good compromise is maybe once after things are done, I wouldn't have a problem with coming back and re-examining things down the road, and if we just had to change it by amending the ordinance for nonprofits, I don't have a problem with that.
I think the point here is this is.
We have a law director, and I mean, I would really like the law director to take a look at it, because if it
Fees
can.
are used to pay inspectors, we do
Right.
hire outside people, we do have to pay, the city does have to pay for inspections, and we do have to hire people for inspections.
Because, Mike's mentioned a situation where they agreed to pay the fees, and I would like to see the fees waived, quite frankly. But at the same time, too, we have a law director, and I would really like him to weigh in on it and tell us what we need to do, or what we're supposed to do here.
Here's the point that's being made. He's not talking about being a nonprofit. He's talking about this is public property. This is our property. This is our home. So if we were to upgrade the plumbing at City Hall, we're going to charge ourselves a fee? It doesn't make sense. This is a city property. He's just a volunteer group trying to repair the city property. Now, Joe, I want to make sure it's legal. Do your thing. But his point is, this is our house. This is our stuff.
What about the barns that are on that land there? I mean, when those need repair, what happens then?
We pay for them.
We pay for them and the city doesn't say anything,
We
correct?
don't get an inspection.
So, I mean, and that's where a lot of our equipment is kept. Jim, do you know?
Say it one more time.
All the equipment and all the barns that are on the property by the manor house, what happens when that needs repaired and fixed? What happens?
You're saying the barns?
Yeah,
We
the-
need-
all the barns with all the property.
I mean, if we had to have a contractor do some work and we needed a permit, then we do have a contractor get a permit
Okay,
and/or register with the city.
Well, registering, you would actually have them draw a building permit from the city for city work?
If it's required, it depends on what the job is. Like if we had a roof repair, they don't require an inspection for a roof repair.
Okay.
If we do.
It's
But isn't that exactly what they're doing?
And it sounds like Nick had a great point. I would suggest, like Ken said, or actually like Nick said, we need to have, whether we can even charge it to, it's our property, you're 100% right. Maybe you could look into it and let us know by next meeting, if that's reasonable to everybody else.
Yeah, I just want to be fair to
fair.
everybody.
It's
Mr.
silly
Cashmere,
to
when's
charge
this-
ourselves
When's this project
for
going to be?
repair to our property. You can look all the laws you want. That's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I'm not charging myself to clean my driveway or fix my shed.
But if you hire a contractor to clean your driveway.
If I hire a contractor, he has to be registered.
Well, and he's gotta get.
And he's gonna charge me for the registration for $200. It's happened. You're a councilman, I don't wanna do any work on your yard, I'm gonna get screwed. So I paid the $200 fee, charging my tax dollars, paying my tax dollars to inspect that manor house, which is my property, is crazy.
John,
And to have him begging for a release is nuts.
when you plan to have this project completed?
Well, the ordinance expires next year in March 1st to get the repairs done. We're planning to get as much done as we can by then. We're going to do the roof and this building beam as soon as we get the roofing materials, get that going, and then we'll go on to the electrical next. We're going to try to get as much done as we can, and we're hoping, of course, we're going to be getting other donations and corporate sponsorships along the way, so that once we get these permits, I believe, like when we get this building permit for the beam, that's a one-year contract. Am I wrong, Mr. Ladd? That's a one-year period from the time we get it. Okay, so this is August. So when I pay for that, if I have to, when we get the permit to do the building beam, we have 1 year to do it.
The permit doesn't supersede what the ordinance says.
You know what I'd really like to see? There's several members on this council who are very, enthusiastic about this project, and they want to waive the fees, so forth and so on. I really think that it's time perhaps to make a commitment to the Longwood Manor Society, because this has been going on for a number of years, that this city council take a look at its budget and allocate a proper number of dollars to you so you can start this project and get it done within the time frame that you discussed right here. Because you've come up with a budget proposal that you can get this done with $317,000. And I've heard prices is ranging as much as $500,000. But I really think that if this council is truly interested in the Longwood Manor, and I think from what I'm hearing from my fellow council people that they are, I really think to get this done, that we need to step forward and provide you with the funding to do it. Because to have you come up here meeting after meeting, John, and as it was pointed out, beg, I don't feel it's right. I think it's time to make a commitment, and I think it's time to find some money in the budget. And we have a good surplus, and I'd like to see that money directed to the Longwood Manor, because it's been far too long. And you have only so much energy, and the people who are working on this project only have so much energy.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
So I'd really like to see that happen, because otherwise, we're going to end up just year after year, meeting after meeting, and I think that's something that the city council needs to do at its next work session, next budget meeting, take a look and carve out some dollars for your folks, because I'm impressed by the fact how dogged you are about this project.
I'm committed, yeah, I'm committed, we're committed to this.
Don't we have a piece of legislation tabled about this that I think Mr. Miller introduced about 4 or 5 years ago?
No, we pulled it off.
Council
He
made,
Pulled it off.
Off the
he
table?
pulled it off, and council made a
We
motion.
want to avoid the thinking that thinks that closing the manor house and the bathrooms that were there and convenient for all the people using the park, we're using that same kind of thinking of charging them fees to work on our own property. That just doesn't make sense.
Well, what I'm saying is that, the thing is, we can go ahead and waive a fee, John, but that's only waiving a fee. I'd really like to see this council, this city, give you some real dollars to work with, so we can see some real progress on that
We
structure.
should maybe get out of their way and let them do their job. That might be the best thing we could do for
Well,
them.
the fact is they've worked very hard in an attempt to get various grants. They've worked very hard to get private funding. They've held various fundraising activities. And within this time frame, it's been very difficult to get funding. But right now, I really believe the city has some funding, and we need to pony up. Because how many years has it been? Let's get this thing done, and let's properly fund it, and let's let it take place, let it happen. Because waiving a fee does you no good, because what we need is real dollars here for you to get the work done. And if you've got a partner that's going to work in this Manor House project with you, and that partner's committed, we need to get them the funding too, so they can get this work done. Because each day we delay, the structure becomes more deteriorated, more dilapidated, and it costs more and more dollars. So I feel the council's committed to it, and I feel we should really get it done. And the only way to show our commitment is to provide funding. So I'm asking other council members, it's time just to step up, because I'm ready to spend some money for you folks.
That's great. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
And I'd like to have a finance meeting. When we have a finance meeting, I'd like you folks to appear at the finance meeting. And
Sure.
of course, Mr. Engel is the finance chair. But if you could talk with Mr. Engel and perhaps carve yourselves out some time, because I want to see this done.
And again, on Ambry Construction, they thought Mr. Ladd told you what I guess Tony discussed with him about whatever it was is paying for anything. It didn't come across that way, but he is cooperating with us. He is, like I said, he's getting the plans done. He'll do the work. We're trying to come up with money though for the materials. So I appreciate it, and I hope this will happen.
Yeah, could you get, with Mr. Engel perhaps, and maybe, is that okay, Mr. Engel?
That's fine, but probably not going to have a finance meeting until we start working on the very next budget.
When would that be?
We usually start November or December.
I think you can use my proposal, Mr. Engel. There's a section in there. We've itemized costs. We've gotten estimates from, some of them are from Ambry Construction.
Unfortunately, I didn't get your document. It wasn't in my material this week.
Mr. Deemer? Oh, he's gonna, oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other comments by the public? Yes, Mike?
My project, I live on 93 Ford on North Bedford Road. Ken, you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now. When they first started this, with this manor house, they said we are not gonna come to the city, ask for no money, not for nothing. And you agreed with that. Now you're changing around, you're backstabbing now. You're talking with a split tongue. You shouldn't do this, Ken. There's other things in this city that we need in this city here. That manor house is a waste. Take that thing down and you ain't gonna have no problem. You got senior citizens, you need snow plowing and stuff for seniors here. You're not doing nothing for this. This is nothing here. Take this thing down. It's just an eyesore. Don't be doing this what you're doing now. You're doing wrong.
Well,
Now,
Mike,
the
there's
rest of your council don't agree with him on this.
Well, there's a lot of people in the city, and
No.
this has been going on for so long, Mike. I mean, something needs to be done. But, there's no consensus to take it down, so we might as well build it up.
No. This is going to take thousands and thousands of dollars to do this, and you know it. Now, you could use this money elsewhere in this city here. There's other things in this city that has to be done. This thing is a waste. Now, don't do this, Ken. You can have more brains than this. You're an attorney.
Well, we're going to look at it at a finance meeting, because I really think we need to move on this, Mike, or make a decision not to move on it. And for these people, they've been coming year after year after year, and nobody on council has really agreed to take it down. So, as I say, let's build it up.
Yeah, when they came here, they said that we're not going to come to the city, and the city told them, don't ask for no money. They said, we're not going to ask you folks for no money. We're going to do this ourselves. Now, here you're coming around, your changes are different now. You're backstabbing. Don't do this, Ken.
Well, the city's in a little better financial position than it was.
Was it better than work with the senior citizens in here that need some help and other people and other projects in this city?
And we're
Don't
gonna-
waste your money on that building.
And we're going to address
Take
that.
that building down. Quit wasting the money for nothing.
I'd rather not have a debate, okay? Do we have any public comments? Yes, Dan?
Teeny Hannah, Macedonia. What I'd like to know is, Ms. Darrow, what's coming along with the thumbprint time cards that was appropriated? I know I volunteered to give Scott some company names, but he said he didn't need them. I mean, the money, I guess, has already been
Yeah.
appropriated.
Right.
That's what I want to know, just to, how's it coming? Thank you.
As you know, we had that company that we talked to.
Right.
I can't think of the name of it, but no, we haven't looked into it further than that. I guess it would be an administrative decision, and we'd probably need an ordinance if and we discussed this before, if you're going to require certain departments or certain personnel to start using that system.
All right, are there any other comments by the public? Hearing none, let's move on to pending and/or new legislation, starting with ordinance number 44, 2012.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 44, 2012 for its third reading by title only, please.
Second.
An ordinance amending section 54910 of the Macedonia Codified Ordinances to provide limited discharge of firearm on personally owned property.
And what's your pleasure?
I move we pass and post ordinance 44, 2012 according to law.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yeah, before I vote, I know this has had a lot of debate on it. I've been accused of rushing this through, but we had a reading on April 26th, May 10th, May 24th, June 14th, July 26th, and then the final one today is the third one. A lot of people came to me with a lot of concerns. I sat down with the police chief, his executive, the mayor, safety director, other people, and this has been limited so much that I've got the police chiefs on board with it. I've taken everybody's concerns and complaints, and I think I've addressed them in here, and it's narrowed it down so much that I think most people's complaints will have been addressed in here, and it's available for me to look at. So I vote yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
I understand that we've had this in front of us for many months, but we're talking about 22 rifles, 9 millimeters, 38, 40, 45 calibers. This is a city. I don't care if you build a backstop. I don't care how you build that backstop. An accidental discharge is going to send a round flying through our neighborhood. I have no idea how far these bullets go, but they go a lot farther than the distance of a 5-acre lot. If you want to go out and shoot guns, I grew up on a farm. I've had guns all my life. I enjoy shooting targets on the farm. Go buy a farm. This is a city. I vote no.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Although I trust Shane implicitly and those that he has worked with, this is a bad idea. for Macedonia, and I vote no.
Mr. Mulner?
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into this too, and Shane's put a lot of work into trying to make this work so that we could put this through and have this be a feasible thing in the city, but I'm just gonna vote no.
Mayor?
Upon the recommendation of staff and police officers, upon the recommendation of a councilman who is someone who lays his life on the line every day and knows a heck of a lot more about guns and what they can do than anybody, I vote yes. Moving on to resolution number 61-2012.
I'd like to make a motion that we have a first, second, and third reading for Resolution 61, 2012.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution, oh, that's spelled wrong, authorizing, that's spelled wrong, the City of Macedonia to participate in the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program.
I move that we post and pass and post ordinance 61, 2012 according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mueller?
Yes, but it's Macedonia, not Macedonia.
Yeah, there's about three, I said there's about three,
I had to point it out, I'm sorry.
yeah, well, okay, everybody, it was resolution authorizing Macedonia. Spell check didn't pick up on it.
Moving on, ordinance number 62, 2012. Mike?
I'd like to offer ordinance number 62, 2012 for its for its second and third reading by title only.
Second.
Roll. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I'm just
all in
gonna
favor?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read it.
Yeah.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement for a dump body with snowplow installed spreader package for a new 2013 International from Concord Road Equipment Manufacturer Incorporated through the State of Ohio Purchasing Program.
What's your pleasure, Mike?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 62, 2012.
Roll call.
We
I
good?
need a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
No.
And Mr. Mulner?
Yes.
Moving on to resolution number 63-2012.
I'd like to offer resolution 63, 2012 for its second and third reading by title only.
Second.
A resolution authorizing the Director of Finance to pay Nochi Enterprises, Inc. for the State Route 82 emergency pavement repair.
And what's your pleasure, Nick?
I move that we pass and post according to law resolution 63, 2012.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Before I vote, we haven't had much explanation of this, but this is to repair the emergency water break on Route 82 by Aldi's. And obviously, it wasn't in the budget, but it's something that we have to pay for. It was an emergency. And the city then will seek reimbursement from Cleveland Water Department, the same as which we've done when Highland Road erupted. And we're working on getting that money back. So with that explanation, I will vote yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mulner?
Yes.
Next is ordinance number 64, 2012.
Mr. Mayor, I'd offer ordinance 64, 2012 for first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance,
Opposed? Okay.
I was just going to read it. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a settlement agreement with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District to resolve pending litigation.
Before asking to move forward on this, perhaps, Joe, you can give a brief explanation, because this has been a long, long journey.
Yes, it has, Your Honor. For a couple of years now, the Macedonia communities, including the Summit County communities, including Macedonia, had filed suit against Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District to stop them from imposing a new set of fees on our residents without giving us a chance to have input or without having any kind of chance for our securing a return on those fees for projects in Summit County. Through the course of the litigation, there was a trial earlier this year. December was the trial, January, March was the decisions. There was an appeal, it was reversed back. There were further hearings, and during all this time period, we started a compromise attempt with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. We're happy to say now that we were able to receive some considerable concessions from Northeast Ohio Sewer, including 25% of the total annual stormwater revenue collected by them will be returned to Summit County communities, including Macedonia, for exclusive access by us for stormwater-related projects. They also modified the scale by which commercial properties will be receiving fees imposed against them. There will be a restriction on the stormwater fees being increased. There will be no increases for our residents until 2014. These fees were going to begin last year, but we were able to stop them. Now it will not be any increases till 2014. And then when they do increase between the years 2015 and 2021, they can never increase it more than 5% per year. Before, there was no restriction on how much those fees could be increased. The city has the ability to withdraw from the district stormwater program, which was not in there before. If we get some form of stormwater program in Summit County or in this city, we can withdraw from Northeast Ohio Sewer District. We also can withdraw from them entirely, even for our sanitary sewer treatment, if we are able to substitute or come up with our own program that would be more cost beneficial to our residents and businesses. And finally, they have agreed to fee credits for our citizens based on how much each community spends on stormwater-related projects. As much as a 2.5% credit would be given to each community's taxpayers and residents if we spend $25 per resident in stormwater-related projects, and as high as 7.5% if we spend upwards of $50 per resident overall on stormwater projects. So the law directors of the various communities are recommending that it be approved, and that's our recommendation to you as well. Northeast Ohio Sewer District has been showing very much good faith. They've been out here already meeting with our engineer, building department, service department, to identify those areas that are most pressing in our community so that they can start on them right away. So that's the summary.
Thank you, Joe. What's your pleasure, Dave?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 64, 2012.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Molnar.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 64, 2012 passes. Moving on to ordinance 65, 2012.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance 65, 2012 for first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending and supplementing the 2012 annual appropriations number 21, 2012.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, based upon the conversations that we had in the work session, I would like to amend ordinance 65, 2012 as follows, striking the 9th line down in the box that which is called contracted services for $8,000, and then adding an additional appropriation to allow a dispatcher civil service test for $3,000, and that would go into line item 101.160.5310 professional services for $3,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That line item that is being stricken,
Yes,
was
sir.
that the fireworks?
Yes, sir. We'll pay it out of rec center.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 65, 2012.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
Yes.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
No. Ordinance number 65.
Mr. Molnar?
Thank you. Yes?
I'm sorry about that, Nick.
That's okay, I just took me a minute to write something down here.
All right, we're moving on. 65 passes to 66, 2012.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 66, 2012 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance approving a change order to the contract between Kenmore Construction Company, Inc., the Ohio Department of Transportation, and the City of Macedonia regarding the Highland Road Bridge project.
I move, you want to comment on this, Mr. Mayor?
Well, this is the city's response to the road rage that happens on Route 82 because of the congestion right there where the left turn takes place from eastbound traffic on 82 onto 271. This has been months in the making. We had a professional engineering firm give us results that went to ODOT. ODOT then came up with the solution, and the solution is to temporarily close that left turn. Thank you, Ken.
Sure. I'd like to move that we pass and post ordinance number 66-2012 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Darrow?
No.
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Molnar?
Remaining consistent, I remember when we had this come up the first time for the study, it was $25,000 to do the study, and now we're asked for another $33,000 to shut down a road for a year and open it back up, and I think it's frivolous spending, so, no.
Mayor?
In order to save lives and create a safer situation, absolutely yes.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I just want to make a comment that we're following the recommendation of a study from URS, which is not only nationally recognized, but internationally recognized as a leader in the construction, engineering, and consulting of the building of roads, traffic studies, highways, and they've recommended we do this. This is not based on a frivolous whim by the administration or people on this council. This is only going to last for a year. It's a temporary situation. And I do agree with the mayor that we're going to move traffic much quicker. We're also going to save lives, and we're going to create a more stress-free environment on the highways and roads of our cities. in particular Macedonia.
Nick, what would the timeframe, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, what would the timeframe of getting this erected?
The contractor's schedule to implement this change order is contingent upon the bridge painting that's going on right now, which is scheduled or anticipated to be completed sometime mid-September. From that point, ODOT will handle the public notification process and get the awareness involved, and the contractor can then begin to post the detour signs. I gotta believe it's gonna take them if I had to guess, I'd say 2 weeks from start to finish. And that's pretty conservative. They'll probably get it up within a week's time frame.
So you're talking...
There's a little bit of time involved for them to post the temporary signs because they've got to get it marked for utilities to make sure they're not,
So sometime in the autumn then?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I apologize, I didn't want to convey a condescending tone towards you with this, but if we look at the facts, and what kind of brought me to my decision tonight, it says in the study that the number of accidents has actually gone down. It's just a traffic problem. You pointed out that there's a lot of road rage. So to spend that money to me again did not seem right. Thank you.
And I understand your feelings, but I'd like to reiterate what our police chief said, is that you have a smaller amount of accidents in parking lots because all the cars are sitting still. We have such congestion on Route 82 that nobody moves. People do not show any courtesy. We have constant people running red lights. John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we have gridlock there. It's down to one lane going west, and you have people cutting in, cutting out, stopping to let the folks turn up the interstate, near-miss accidents. So I can see that the accidents have gone down because there isn't as much movement. There's just more traffic than there should be on 82 now because of Highland Road.
I think my point is we have a year, and I feel like we should just fight through it. Obviously, it's late to say that now, but we should just fight through it.
There are things that we do at certain times of the evolution of our infrastructure that are to improve conditions that are temporary but end up being permanent. It would be my hope that when this is all done, that people say, gee, it's easier to do it this way, and that's what happens. We have millions, in excess of, I believe, $30 million being invested in infrastructure so that traffic may traverse our city well. And $33,000, we've already spent $25,000. We're doing this for the people that drive on Route 82. And anybody that drives on that road knows it needs something. The mayor and the administration were instructed by council, fix it. And I'm doing just that.
I have a question. What is going to be the alternate route that people are going to be taking now? Once you close this, are they going to go up Freeway, or are they going to go up North Bedford, which is only like 250 feet from the highway that you're closing? Right where Speedway is and where the highway is, where you get on at that ramp, it's like 250 feet. So there's not much of a...
Whenever you do anything and you deal with different situations and different interchanges, let's list them as A, B, and C. You do something to A, you study what it does to B, you study what it does to C. Right now, we have many, many complaints that the lights are absolutely horrible. People have to wait, and then when the light does turn green, it's green for seconds, and then it turns back to red. The reason that's happening is so that traffic will flow on Route 82. There's a very good chance, once this is in place and people learn new habits, that this will be the best way to go. This is not the first time. There is one hurdle left in Macedonia to make traffic flow. we will have spent $40 million, most of it federal funds, by the time the next 2 years are over for infrastructure improvements to make it easier to go through the city of Macedonia, to increase the amount of traffic that our roads will handle, to increase our ability to handle excess traffic from things like the Racino. Right? Right. All right, moving on. Ordinance number 67.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 67, 2012 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution authorizing the Director of Finance to pay Health and Fitness Equipment Centers of Eastlake, Ohio for equipment for use at the Macedonia Family Recreation Center.
And what's your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post resolution 67, 2012 according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Ms. Darrow.
Yes.
Mr. Engel.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
No.
And Mr. Mulner.
Yes.
See, that time I let you get it in there. I'm learning.
Thanks for that, Mayor.
You're
Okay.
doing well.
Ordinance number 68, oh, by the way, we're going to buy new equipment for our rec center with this, and that's good news for all the people who are there who think our equipment's getting to be in pretty bad shape. You can only fix it so long, and then you have to replace it. Our rec center does very well business-wise, so we want to continue to offer the best we can. Ordinance number 68-2012.
I'd like to offer ordinance 68, 2012 for its first reading by title only.
An ordinance amending the Business Regulation Code by adding new chapter 794 entitled Hotel and Motel Security and Safety.
Mr. Mayor, after reviewing this ordinance, what I would like to do, and this normally isn't the sort of thing that I suggest, but I would like to hold perhaps a work session on this ordinance alone and invite the owners of the various lodgings, hotels, motels in our community and allow them an opportunity to speak to us how they feel some of these problems could be resolved. Because I feel it's very, very important, since they're located here and since they have businesses here, that they have some input into this. Because this ordinance, of course, is, there's been some good questions raised about it, but I would like to hear from the people who are located in our community and hear what they have to say about this, Mr. Mayor.
It
So,
sounds like a good
Councilman
idea.
Molnar,
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
If you could perhaps take some steps to effect that, I would appreciate it.
It's a good idea, absolutely.
Josephine, would you want to invite them, or do you want?
I'll
the-
talk to Mr. Mulner.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll make
He'll
that
schedule a
happen
date,
in
talk by
the,
date, and then we'll go from there.
in an effort for fairness. All right, moving on with ordinance 69.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 69, 2012 for its first reading by title only.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1171 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Macedonia prohibiting the placement of donation boxes in the City of Macedonia.
I'd like to offer ordinance, I'd like to offer I'm sorry, Mayor, you have to announce this. I'm
Yes.
jumping ahead of myself, huh?
Yeah. No,
Apologize.
okay. Next will be resolution number 70. Ken?
I'd like to offer resolution number 70, 2012 for its first reading by title only.
A resolution freezing all Family Recreation Center fees and dues for all Macedonia residents.
Okay. Are there any other motions or legislative actions?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that the city of Macedonia raise the qualifying income cutoff for the senior snow plowing and rubbish removal from its current level to $30,000 per year.
What is it at currently?
I called the service department to find out today, but they were unable to get back to me.
I have it right in the file if you want to see.
Jim, what's the cutoff right now for the income? 24,000?
Yeah, I want to say it's 23 and some change, I'm not exactly sure.
We have a number of residents that missed it by $100.
I don't know that.
So,
Michael, I've talked to some residents too, and just in the interest of fairness, I'd really like to see it boosted to 32 at this time. Because I think that if we have a senior citizen who's earning $32,000 a year or generating income of $32,000 a year, I believe that those people need just as much help as those who are earning $30,000 a year. So I would respectfully ask that you withdraw your amendment motion and perhaps propose a new motion to establish it at $32,000 a year.
can we do that?
Would you like me to go get the guidelines? There's a high end, do you want to use that number?
Yeah, that would be nice.
It'd just take 2 seconds.
Okay.
Perhaps we can take a quick recess? Would you like to
Sure.
do that, folks?
Make a motion, make a motion to take a quick recess.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll be right back.
I don't know how long it's gonna take the contractor to change it, I guess. I'd rather find out from the ODOT's project engineer to see how much time he's gonna put into it. What they're gonna end up doing is putting up their signage, which is gonna be notified. It's not just isolated at one time closed. They're gonna have their signs at 82, 8 North and Soccer Park before you get to where the traffic changes. So they gotta do the signs, then they're gonna do the striping. And once they do the striping, they gotta reconfigure it. Then they'll put up temporary barriers. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say at most 2 weeks, but let me talk to ODOT. Oh, when? I thought you were asking how long. When would it be done? 2 weeks to do. That's my guess, but I'll find out exactly. It's not gonna happen at least until, right now they're doing the steel painting on the bridges. They're scheduled for that sometime by mid-September. They should be done with that painting, and they can't do this change until that's done, because for that one, they're closing off lanes. So we can't make any lane changes until they're done with that work. So once they're done with that, by mid-September, plus or minus, they'll go through the public notification process.
No, I was just suggesting
About the traffic change. I can put you in contact with ODOT's public notification center, Justin, and tell you exactly. I'm not, yeah, okay. You guys get it. You call it. You guys
because he wanted to,
When you mentioned took all their notes, because you gave me the stuff, and there's a section there that I just told you, they didn't get the two ways, of course, associated. They got plan. They got
They would have to have a
You have to. You gotta follow the building code. It's in the code.
Never thought about that.
I read that before.
Was he found guilty? What was he found guilty?
if we can, please, so we can all go home tonight, let's reconvene. Josephine, if you could please show in the minutes that we reconvene at 10 minutes to 9. All right, and we are on, are there any motions or other legislative actions?
And we have been asked to reintroduce this. I would like to make a motion that the City of Macedonia raise the qualifying income cutoff for the senior snow plowing and rubbish removal from its current level to $32,000 per year.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Before we begin, I'm not saying I'm against it, but I think, yes, we're doing really good financially, but, we tend to just think, oh, it's a little bit more money now, and it just goes on and on. I think we need to have some time to, and I know there's seniors out there already shooting darts at me, that's fine. But we have to be fiscally responsible. We don't have any idea how many people this is going to affect. We don't know how it's going to affect our budget. But we do know that in 2 years, we're going to have to, we're going to have to deal with the rec center and some very expensive debts that we have to get paid off. And we're not going to have the benefit of the 0.25% income tax for a couple years, for that period of time. So I think it's not going to snow for 2 months, maybe never, the way we've had this summer and last winter. But we need to at least do some due diligence on this. So I'd like to make a motion to table this until such time as we've had an opportunity to answer these questions. I think it's prudent.
I think that, Mike's got a valid concern, and I really want to vote yes on this. I just want to have more time to look at it. There's plenty of time. Help me to vote yes on this by giving me time to sit down and research and how many people are going to fall into it, how many more driveways it's going to be, and I probably will be for it. I think that we need to sit down and just look at it a little more. And I think that Mike's big concern is that we talk. I'm going on record here and saying I'm committed in the next meeting or two to have a decision on this, and there will be plenty of time for those people to sign up and get it done. That's all I'm asking for, is more time on this.
We always seem to need to have the rubbish removed. It isn't affected by the weather. According to the latest document I just saw, it was 23,000.
I'm sorry, I thought you said snow plowing.
It's for snow plowing and rubbish.
It's for both.
To
Okay.
get an income level. 23,000 approximately was for a single one person living in a house, is the previous or present limit. I'm proposing that it be moved to 30,000, and it has, to my knowledge, not gone up in at least a decade or more.
Well,
It does go up every year.
We follow the HUD guidelines, so as HUD goes up, the qualifications go up.
It's always adjusted, what they
It's
come
always
up with.
adjusted, but we follow the middle and not the lowest. But getting back to what you're saying, the 32,000, do you want that for a 3-person household and go backwards? Or do you want that?
Single
the
household.
Single household, so that means, what we're currently filing is 23,300 for a single, 26,600 for 2, 29,950 for 3. So that are you then asking for that 32,000 for 1, and then that percentage that goes up for 3
The same
persons?
percentage would go up for 2 and 3.
Okay, so forget.
And you're assuming, though, when we have this, that there's no able-bodied person in the house that can go out there and shovel that foot of snow that came overnight. And Jim, how many people did we take care of the last winter?
Approximately 80.
Okay. And how many times was the snowplow called out? I'm gonna guess less than 10.
Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my
Okay.
head, I couldn't even guess.
But they need their garbage removed every week.
Right.
Okay, so it would be solving a problem there.
We do need to make a decision pretty quick, though, because I believe the girls are currently sending out.
You're about to do this.
Why, we are in the process of it right now, and we tend to always wait till December, and then people get angry because they already sign up with contractors. There's contractors out there now.
Right. Well, your staff gets
soliciting
overwhelmed.
work, and then, they're like, oh, geez, if I'd have known you would have changed, we're gonna change that, I wouldn't have had to pay for, contracted service. So we really do need to, on one hand, you're doing something good, but then it turns around and backfires, and we get the complaints, saying like, why didn't you make the decision sooner? So we need to really pick up on the decision here pretty quick.
And one thing is, I know at least one citizen was disqualified by $100, another one by $500. Those are the only 2 that have been brought to my attention.
The unfortunate thing is you gotta draw the line,
That's
it's
right.
like
That's
over
right.
a
But
dollar
you're
and
increasing the
it's
line by
over.
9,000. You're increasing the line by 1/3. This is,
We're
it's a big
raising it
change.
to a
Let
reasonable
me tell you, we increased our residents' taxes. And I think, and remember, rubbish pickup, Michael,
I
was
do.
supposed to be free.
It's one of the reasons I wanted to move
Yeah,
here.
it was supposed to be free. And now we've got a situation where our residents are paying more taxes. What we're talking about here is we are helping out senior citizens who have contributed so much to our community, who have faced the triple whammy of a bad economy, increasing health care cost, and on top of that, they've had to dealt with a situation in the city where we have not been able to deliver all the services that we have promised to them or that they have been accustomed to. So Mike, I feel your motion is very well taken. I support it. I think we should just call the question and just vote on it.
I think
because
people are misunderstanding. Dave and I are not saying that it's not.
I don't think you are.
No, I mean, it goes from 33,000 or 32,000 to the bottom number. What are those next higher numbers? And what happens if,
23.
now what happens if next year somebody comes, and it's a terrible thing, somebody comes and say, look, Mr. Miller, I lost out by $100. Where do we draw the line? If it's gonna be 32,000 for one person, what are those numbers for 2 and 3 and above?
It would be the same ratio that.
All
we
I'm
have
asking,
now.
all I am asking for is to do this with Scott involved, and so we have the figures in front of us. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, without knowing what the impact is, I'm not opposed to doing it, but I want to know what the impact is, where it's coming from, and how we're going to handle it.
That's
Before
all
we
I'm
just
asking
drop it in
for.
our laps and we just go with it.
Let's vote. And if you want to bring it up again, that's fine.
I'd like to make a, did I make my motion?
You made a
Yeah, but
motion
the
to
thing is,
table
it was out of
discussion.
order.
No, I'm not. Mr. Deemer, you said we could make a motion to table.
motion to
Table it.
Just
which
discussion.
always has the
Right.
way.
So I made a motion to table. The question then, is there a second to
Second,
that
there's a
motion?
I second Dave's motion.
So now we need to
If
vote.
there's not a majority that votes to table, then you can go to the question.
Okay, Mr. Barker,
This is
We're-
to
to
table,
table.
table it. Yes.
Ms. Darrow,
No.
Mr. Engel,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
No.
Mr. Miller,
No,
Mr. Molnar.
I'm appalled that we're going to do something without knowing what it's going to cost us. Yes.
Mayor,
busy tonight.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I was napping.
This is a win-win though.
Every day, Mike, every day I sign those sheets that allow people to get snow plowing. Every day I see so many people, people live to be 80 now, that's not unheard of. They can barely make it around. I feel bad for all of them. But I absolutely want to be just as frugal as we should be in this particular instance. So if we give everybody a chance to see the impact, it will be doing the right thing rather fiscally, besides just doing the right thing morally. So I agree that it's needed because I see it every day. I sign them, all right? But what we need to, and we do, there are special occasions where there's multiple reasons where, you know, a person's crippled and old and so forth and so on, and there's nobody lives with them. I mean, the city does bend in those type of situations. So it's not like it never happens. We do help some people. So in that case, I'm going to vote that we do take more time to get the impact and bring it back on the floor next meeting. All right, any other motions or legislative actions?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that ordinance number 35-2012 be taken off the table and added to the agenda this evening and offered for a third and final reading.
Can you refresh our memory on 35?
Is that mine?
It's the ordinance creating a committee, a special committee known as the Ordinance Review Committee.
Oh my gosh.
It's been tabled 5/10, it was voted on at 4/26 and 4/12. So we haven't done anything, talked about it since May 10th. We should vote on it and be done. Do I have a second? Oh, yes, we have a second.
Is that right?
Yep.
Is that this one, right?
You can refresh your memory. Ordinance creating a special committee known as the Ordinance Review Committee and creating Chapter 125. So do we take a vote on taking it
Yeah,
off the
we're
table?
ready. There's a vote.
I need a second.
Oh, Mr. O did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Someone was talking and I just didn't know.
Okay.
I think you were talking, you were
Roll
explaining what
call.
it was. Mr. Barker,
No.
Ms. Darrow,
Yes.
Mr. Engel,
No.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Milner,
Again, with this one, we were supposed to be reworking it, and it was last tabled on May 10th, 2012. I haven't heard anything since then, so I have to vote no.
The good news is on January 1, 2014, you never have to do this again.
That's right. I have very great concern because the governing body is elected by the populace of Macedonia, and it makes and deals with tough decisions all the time. There is an opportunity for anyone that wants to be involved in that process to run for political office. If you run for political office, you can be an ordinance review committee. All right, so at this point in time, I do not believe this would be in the best interest of the city, and I vote no.
You know, if somebody goes through our ordinances and they're available online, as I recall,
yeah.
anything can be brought to us with a concern, and in fact, it does happen. It just happened with the fence issue. I think Mike and Dave was involved in that. That's how things are, if there's issues, bring them to us, and almost any one of us will bring this, if we think it's a good idea, and bring it to the front. So there is already a process in place, and nobody needs to be on a committee or do anything. Go look at the ordinances if you think there's something wrong, because everything needs to be, things need to be changed as we go through life. Bring it to us, and we will certainly consider that. I think that's the way it needs to be done.
Are there any other motions or legislative actions?
I'd like to make a motion that council form a committee of its members to examine and make recommendations for corrections and/or improvements to our law department operations. Yes.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
I guess I'm just not, I would like to, these things are just seem to be coming out of the blue. I mean, some preparation would have, makes us look like the people that are saying no are trying to put, a wrench in the monkey. Yes, what I'm talking about. Yes, that thing. But that's not the case. Is that I think that this is not the way we've done things. When Mr. Plata was on thing, his biggest concern was we were doing things right now, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is what I feel. I'm not sure where all this is coming from.
Well, Mike, what are you gonna answer?
It's a topic we've been discussing back and forth for months, even years, and even on different terms. I think the council needs to get together, sit down, and talk, and find out what we're doing now right, what we're doing wrong, and to do exactly what I've asked, to examine and make recommendations for corrections and/or improvements to our law department operations.
But we can do that in the next work section. We can do that. We can do that anytime. Bring it.
But we don't.
Then bring it to us and make us. Hey, here's an idea.
I'm bringing it to you right now.
I know, but you're not giving us enough time. Why do we need a committee to do that?
Because usually when decisions are made with more than one person, because we're gonna have to be a committee to vote in any action that we take or any improvements, we need to have a committee to talk about it.
Council votes on it. We would vote on it. I would vote on it.
Are you informed enough to make decisions about?
Not on a few of these things that have come up recently. I'm not.
Well, see, that's why you gotta have a committee.
What did you just ask for now?
I asked for a motion that council form a committee of its members. The council does something together, that we're gonna examine and make recommendations for corrections or improvements to our law department operations. So we either wanted to get a committee together to do that, or we don't. It's as simple as that.
Here's my concern with this. I received a call earlier this week from a resident that hinted that this would be coming up, and I'm gravely concerned that my fellow council person makes a motion that I knew nothing of, and a resident's telling me about it.
Then your resident
Now, Mike,
has ESP because they certainly didn't talk to me.
This is gravely concerning me, because this tells me that these are preempted and
If you were so
planned
gravely
and
concerned,
plotted.
I wouldn't have to be making these motions.
Mike, we could talk about this anytime. This is your third of
Okay.
what looks like 6 motions you're gonna make. I'm a little concerned. You could do
I'm
that
glad
at any
you're
time.
concerned, 'cause
But
if
why
you're
isn't this on
concerned-
why isn't it on here to talk about? Why are we not discussing this in a work session like we always
That's
do?
what I'm asking you to do, to discuss it.
In defense of
This is not
Mr.
discussion,
Miller,
this is a
Mr. Molnar, you brought up this issue in January.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a year
of
ago.
this year. And also, I think it may have carried over to February. So I don't believe that this issue is anything that's new to this council.
These are all my old notes.
Can you make a
And,
great point?
I just think we should respect Mr. Miller's request and deal with it in that manner rather than being a little bit, you used the word
Defensive.
frivolous before to describe an action by council, but I think Mr. Miller should be given the opportunity to explain what he wants to accomplish, and maybe that might be a better way to go here.
Well, let's have a little clarity here, instead of being nefarious, Mr. Martin. When I talked about this, I spoke to Mr. Deemer to his face, and we said, what? We were gonna talk about looking at costs, we were gonna see what we pay currently versus having an in-house attorney. We had a conversation, did we not? This council talked about it.
It was researched thoroughly, reports were given to council, details on the cost basis. Council went out, got samples from other communities, looked at them, talked about them. I mean, I've got a file this thick on what council has already investigated. and research, so I'm happy to reproduce it for everybody who
I've
hasn't
never seen that, so,
I didn't remember getting quotes.
I've never seen it, and I wasn't here last
Did
year,
you ever get
so.
any quotes?
Did you ever ask your clerk or anyone else to go get them for you?
I'm not gonna ask my clerk to do my job.
Well, then maybe you did it, I don't know.
But
We
just
need
from
to
the
talk.
point of view of Mr. Miller's request,
That's what you vote on.
maybe it's, well, I think what Mr. Miller may be requesting is that information that was provided to council at that time, or Mr. Molnar, that perhaps it be reviewed, collated, and a decision be made, because as I remember, there was really no decision made at that point. The issue kind of went away. So I'm just going to point out that maybe if Mr. Miller just could explain what he wants to accomplish with this committee, maybe we could all understand better, because that would be helpful for me, Mike.
I'll read it again. I make a motion that council form a committee of its members to examine and make recommendations for corrections and/or improvements to our law department operations. So I want council to work together with itself to look and see if there are areas that we can correct or improve our current law department operations, and make recommendations to do such things.
May I say something?
Sure.
And I appreciate what Mr. Molnar is saying about being caught unawares. But I also understand that this is something that has been discussed many times, and sometimes it seems like we're going to go somewhere with it, and sometimes it doesn't. I think if we're going to deal with this motion tonight, I think the motion should include the number that you want on the committee, and whether or not you want how you want to choose that number. Maybe are those members, maybe the president can make that determination. People can volunteer. If they don't have enough or too many, the president would then appoint someone, or say, no, the committee's full. So I think if we deal with those two issues, I think that would go a long ways in making this a more structured motion.
Is he saying he wants a committee just amongst us?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
That's what it sounds
Are you
like,
asking?
just us.
Are you asking for a committee, or are you asking for a committee of the whole?
I want council, between those of us that sit here, to make a decision.
I understand,
To
but
put together a committee to tackle a problem.
but I'm trying to.
I'm sorry, what was the problem?
The problem is that we need to examine and recommend corrections and/or improvements to our law department operations.
I haven't heard any complaints about what the problems are, though.
I have
So-
other motions to tackle our service department problems, our building department problems, our finance department problems, our police department problems, and fire. I just don't have them for tonight.
So your
I want us
motion.
to do our job.
Well, you know what? I think this is getting a little bit out of hand. I'm sorry. I'm the administrator of this city. And what is being suggested here is that you're going to give me what tools I need to fix this city. I have to select my tools. I have to select what I need to get the job done. As administrator, that is my job. I'm the executive. Now you're saying, well, okay, council's going to tell me who we should have for a lawyer. Well, I'll tell you what, think about this a little bit. Consider this. Do you think we would have beat NEORSD without Joe? I don't.
The motion is not talking about
Okay,
replacing.
I would just like to make a point, if I may, that you're talking about my staff, and I'm not even involved in this. Is that right?
That's the point.
What's the point?
The point is that council, elected by the public, needs to get together and talk.
And
among
run,
themselves.
and run the city?
And make
That's my job.
recommendations for corrections and/or improvements. I didn't put the
Well,
word
I have not
possible.
heard anybody say to me recently that there's a problem. Now I'm hearing my police department, my law department, my service department. What in the heck is going on?
Well, if these departments were not looked at every once in a while, I wouldn't be doing my job. And I'm suggesting that.
Oh, that's
council
not
gets
right,
together.
and this is not for audience participation. This is up here. I think that, Mike, this is out of line.
But
I
it's
think
not.
that I should have been consulted or let me know that there's a problem, not all of a sudden now, staff is going to be determined by council. If that's the case, you don't need me.
Council, well, that was the next
Here.
motion. The next motion was about
Yeah,
a
here.
city manager, but yeah, I can get that.
Here, Mike.
So we need to vote, yes or no. Does council want to do it or not? If they don't want to do it, that's fine.
Well, I seconded it, right? What do you do?
Well, you got a motion on the
Got a
floor,
motion and
and
a second.
I think it's completely out of line, but council has to do what you have to
Call-
do.
I call the question.
And then we'll see where we go from there.
I'd like to
Can
call the
I
question.
make a motion to table this? I think we need some
We
further
already have that
discussion
motion on the
this.
floor.
Who made it?
I made
Dave.
it, Mr.
Oh, okay,
Barker seconded
thanks.
it.
Okay.
What, to table this, Mr., oh, I'm sorry, I did not hear that.
No, that was the
Yeah,
last
That
one.
was the last
That
one.
was the first.
That was the last one.
Yeah, this is another
We
one.
have a new motion up?
Yes.
Well, Joe, stop us from doing this. You can't have, we're the one we're dealing with is the law department, right?
Right. The last one you tabled was for the.
For the
Senior
rubbish pickup.
citizen.
Right, but I also made
Citizens
made a motion to table this one.
Oh, I didn't.
Well,
well,
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
Dave, you confused me. I'll make a motion, okay?
Because fine.
You want to second that one?
No, let me make my motion.
You wanna- Okay.
I make a motion to table it, and then I looked to you, and I said, Mr. Deemert said we could do this. And then we got off on this wild tangent. So, there's a motion to,
You seconded it?
I second.
okay, so there's a motion and a second, so we should be voting, and I'm sorry I'm taking over as parliamentarian, but it seems to me that what is on the table now is a motion to table Mr. Miller's motion, and we need to vote on the motion to table.
Okay. Mr. Barker,
Yes.
Ms. Darrow,
No.
Mr. Engel,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
No.
Mr. Molnar,
No,
Poor mayor.
pardon me?
no.
Yes. Moving on, are there any other motions, Mike?
Yes. I make a motion that council forms a committee for the sole purpose to examine current city operations and recommend the pros and cons of a city manager form of government.
I don't know what that is, so I can't.
Good.
I don't know much about it.
I'll second that one, Michael.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin's the one that would like that one.
What? I'm not going to move to table that. I think that's something legitimate that we can be discussing for future planning.
I do too, Dave.
So-
Thanks.
Are we ready for?
Wouldn't
vote?
that be a charter issue?
It is.
It could be,
Yeah, we're almost due to bring back together our charter commission.
Well-
So if you want to go to that kind of government, I can understand that you have true professionals who are city managers, but there's also a lot of things that some mayors have done for this city, so.
Mr. Mayor,
This is no reflection on our current
Yeah.
administration.
right,
Thank you.
and Mr.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'm not trying to, I want to make it clear, that's not anybody's intent here, but you've kind of made it clear, I thought, that you were not going to run for reelection, and if that's the case, then I think it is a good time to start thinking about how the city of Macedonia will look or run in the future, and that may include some of these other departments, including the law department. I don't have a problem, I just had a problem with his motion at that point. And I'm not trying to pressure you into making a public announcement, but, you know, it just seemed to me that at some point in time, we're all on this dais are going to be off, and, you know, my hair keeps getting grayer every year, and, you know, at some time I won't be here.
Oh, it's a lot grayer now
God
than it was when
forbid.
you started.
I understand, especially just what's gone on tonight. But, you know, so I'm willing to discuss, and I think although it's going to have to be put up to a charter, and the people are going to have to vote, I think council needs to, you know, examine it too. And maybe council, will, after they examine it, will say, well, no, we don't want to go to the charter committee. But maybe they'll say, yeah, we really do want this for charter review, so.
ready
So,
for
yeah,
roll call?
we're ready for a vote.
So we're just gonna vote on this and we're not tabling it?
So far, I don't have that.
If you want to make a motion to table
I wanna
it,
talk.
go for it.
Right now, it's just strictly Mr.
Okay.
Miller's, about this reviewing this.
Okay.
Now, that your committee, you're talking committee among yourself.
Committee of council.
Okay.
That's it.
That's, I checked.
Can we define, are you asking again for a how are we going to pick this committee? Or is it a
We can
committee of the
figure
whole?
that out.
Well, it's, I think maybe you ought to say committee of number,
We could say a committee of 3 as a minimum or a maximum.
and who's going
Anybody-
to?
What if everybody wants to get involved?
Well-
That's what I would hope. That it could be no more than 6.
All right.
Mr. Barker,
I don't know, we need to continue to form more committees. This is something we can discuss amongst ourselves without a committee.
But we don't. We don't.
Okay, I admit that, then bring it to the table in there and we will discuss it.
It will go as far as you interrupting me and saying but, and that's it. It'll never happen. I don't want to tackle you in there to get your attention. With all due respect,
More than
you
welcome.
carry a gun.
More than welcome to.
All right, so
Tackle before.
council can man up and say, well, yeah, we can figure out how many people we're going to have on a committee, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to look into things, and we're going to plan ahead, and we're going to be prepared. We're not going to let everything just fall in our lap. We're
Well,
gonna
I'll
think
tell you
ahead.
what, I'll vote yes, but I will, when I'm on the committee, I will still have buts and questions and concerns.
That's
Yes.
good. That's what we need.
That's what you need.
Ms. Darrow,
Yes.
Mr. Engel,
Yes.
Mr. Merton,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mulner,
Yes.
So we just voted so that we can talk. Now, isn't that cool? Am I too old to use the word cool? Ready for my next motion? I only have 3 more, and I'm done. They'll be quick. Can I go ahead?
Are there any other motions?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that the Parks and Recreation Commission and the Parks and Recreation Director submit to council by the end of the year a comprehensive plan for the maintenance, care, improvement, and development of the parts of Longwood Park not related to the recreation center and the sports fields. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Let's take a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
do you want me to do roll or? you're
Roll
on?
call.
Okay. Mr. Barker,
Since I'm on the rec commission, actually, it'll give us, I don't have a problem with the task being assigned to the commission, because sometimes we don't have a lot to discuss, so that's a good one, yes.
Yes.
you didn't let me do that, but Mr. Engel,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mulner,
Yes.
okay.
The next motion is, I make a motion that council appropriates the funds necessary to raise and level the sidewalk on Crow Drive, which we've all been talking about, whose dangerous current condition is a clear and ongoing threat to the public safety and welfare.
What's the address? Are you going to do all Crow Drive?
No, just the one in question.
That's the question. Which one?
I have to look it up. It's the only one that has 13 blocks that are a foot high, that we've been telling the guy no for years.
Do you know the address, Jim? by any
You should
chance?
know, have it.
I don't know the address off the top of my head, but like I said, I mean, I'll show you law department opinions that it's the residents' responsibility to replace and repair all sidewalks, that front their property. And, it's not fair to everybody else that's gone on and repaired them. All we said is tear it up, let us see what the root situation looks like, the tree's in good condition, and we could
You know I
possibly do-
love you, but that's gobbledygook.
It is not, it's a
the-
codified
it's the-
ordinance.
So it's wrong.
Okay,
The
then amend the
city, the
ordinance.
city's property is destroying the city's property, and we're asking the homeowner to fix it. That's nuts.
Amend the
And we
ordinance.
know that we have lots of funny rules and regulations in this town and this country, and that's one of them.
Well, then
So
Mike,
I'm
you
asking
should amend-
council to
amend the
say yes or
ordinance.
no.
Amend the ordinance.
Let's amend the ordinance and say go back for this particular house.
Well, actually, we'd have to amend the ordinance and go back to all those people who have repaired their sidewalks and paid for it, and there are many.
And they are not all done, caused by a city tree that's so obvious that there's no question that the tree has caused the damage.
Mr. Krevar?
Yes,
Do
sir.
you recall taking a tree out of my front yard and the tree lawn by the light?
Right.
Do you happen to see the sidewalk there? It's lifted about 8 inches up, crooked. So I guess you can add my address on there if you're gonna do that for everybody.
Yours is not a public safety hazard.
Oh,
This
it
one
is.
What do you
Oh, I
mean?
can tell you about sidewalks. That's
You'd
why I
have
got a
fixed
cast
it
iron.
already. You being president of council, you wouldn't let something like that go month after month, year after year. So we vote on it. Either you want to vote for it or not.
I have a question. If we would do this, then is the cost then just, I thought the cost would be taxed to the resident.
No, I think the motion was that the city pay for correcting the
But
situation.
under the
isn't that-
statute, isn't it cost?
Well, you're
Under the
you're
ordinance.
saying the ordinance won't be applicable here, that you're gonna pay it for the homeowner.
No, my question is, under the ordinance, it would be, we could repair it at any time, but it would then be
Assessed them.
assessed
Assessed to the property owner, yes.
See,
But see, our repair, nobody is more capable of doing this repair inexpensively than the people who work for our service department.
But you're making an exception to the ordinance that everybody has lived under, and now you're going to make one
It's a
exception.
bad ordinance.
That's fine. If it's a bad ordinance, it's a bad ordinance, then what you should do
And it
is
was a
repeal it.
Bad decision not to fix it.
Well, then,
That's negligence. Now, we have an esteemed law director
It's
here that says I'm full of
negligence on
crap.
the resident's part.
yeah.
What it is.
I didn't say those words.
But you mean,
Can I make a suggestion here? Mr. Barker pointed out to me about 10, 15 minutes ago that actually we're on television right now.
Yes, sir, we are.
And for that reason, I really believe that a lot of this discussion, while it may be fruitful to others, it may be appearing a little bit less than correct.
Motion to adjourn always takes precedence.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this evening. I think we've worked very, very hard tonight.
but we
Mr.
would miss
Timmer.
our department heads' reports.
I just made a motion to adjourn.
That precedes
second.
everything. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
Thank you.